Peachy, as many of you know, and today I'm going to be teaching you all the basics of palmistry. Take a look at your palm. Do any of the lines intersect to make a triangle? If they do, that is a significant indicator of financial success and prosperity. Through significant research, reading many articles from the founders of palmistry and people like Charlotte Wolfe, I would consider myself an expert in the basics of palmistry. Today, I'm going to be teaching you all the basics of palmistry. First, we are going to talk about why palmistry is now considered a science. Second, we're going to be identifying the three main lines. And finally, we're going to be identifying the abnormal and missing lines. According to Pew News 2025, 30% of Americans consult astrology, tarot cards, or fortune tellers. This is interesting because palmistry used to be considered an occultive science. According to Alison Bashford in 2024 in her Past and Present book, she noticed that palmistry is not an occult science. It has more to do with comparative anatomy and genetics. Charlotte Wolfe, who we will touch more on later, is a geneticist, psychologist, and zoologist who noticed that palmistry has more to do with genetics than fortune telling. Another notable founder is Catherine St. Hill. She noted palm reading is modes and methods and is not intuitive. Now we're going to be looking at our own palms and identifying the three main lines. Take a look at your palm. We're first going to be noting the heart line. You can identify the heart line by looking underneath your pinky finger as it outstretches to the opposite side of your hand. Your heart line can tell a lot about you. It can show you, depending on the curvature, if it is straight. It means you're more cautious when it comes to love. If it's curved, you're more expressive. Not only does the curvature tell you something, but also where it ends. If it ends underneath your middle finger, you're more idealistic when it comes to love. But if it ends underneath your index finger, my apologies, you're more realistic. Now we're going to be identifying the headline. You can identify the headline from looking underneath your index finger as it stretches outward to the opposite side of your hand. The headline represents origin. It is also known as the wisdom line. It has a lot to do with your genetics, as I've previously stated, but it is very subject to change. Finally, your lifeline. Your lifeline can be noted from, again, starting in the same spot underneath your index finger, but it'll curve around to your thumb. This line, if it is deep and is long, it signifies a long and prosperous life. But if it's short and has many splits, you are subject to more diseases and illness. Now, we're going to be identifying the abnormal and missing lines. Take a look at this graph. Do you see where the lines intersect? Intersecting lines signify harmony between those two aspects of your life. For example, the heart and the headline. Now, I'm going to direct your attention to the missing line. If you have a line missing, that simply means fate. It does not mean that you're going to die because you have no line. It means that fate changes you. Now we're going to be noting something that Charlotte Wolfe noticed, something called the simian line. This line is incredibly interesting. Approximately 2% of the population has something called the simian line. 55% of them have it on their left palm, 30% have it on both palms, and 15% have it on the right palm. Charlotte Wolfe, as I've previously stated, is a geneticist, psychologist, and zoologist. She noted that there are not many similarities between a simian line compared to a normal man, but similar to those in an insane man. As I previously stated, she is a zoologist, so she studied many primates. The simian line signifies a more primitive, neurotic, and more tendencies towards mental illness. Majority of criminals and serial killers have the simian line, and if you have this line, you're also incredibly likely to develop dementia. However, the simian line isn't all bad. Many known leaders today and surgeons have the simian line. Today, we went over how palmistry is now considered a new science, identified the three main lines, and noted abnormal lines. Joseph Alpert, in the 2015 Clinical Key, stated that palmistry is clinical intuition combined with careful observation. Today, I taught you the basics of palmistry. What do your lines tell about your future? Thank you.